Okay. Get this all set up here. Hopefully. Looks like we got it. Let's see if it will work. Well, I can seem a little slow. There it goes. Okay. Actually, I got two builds I haven't streamed with, but one of them I already tested. This is the one we're going to take out here. But before we do that, we'll show off the Discovery over here that I've already flight tested. Medium core. There's the ass end view. And we'll take a walk on board. It is a medium core. Got a top speed of about 38,000 kilometers an hour. Has two large containers in it. Of course, it can be expanded to more here. We made it that way, depending on your talents. It does have a medium shield generator in it. I just don't have it on. And here's the back end. Everything is concealed, you'll see. Tanks are in the ceiling. I gotta do a little voxel work on it yet to fix that. I have no idea how I did that. Yeah, when I put the crossbars on it, I'm sure. Yeah, everything's concealed. It can be customized however you want an interior to look. As I said, you could drop the shield generator, put in two more containers, but watch your talents if you're going to fill 4 containers up. It's all on arch HUD, so you can fly it manually. Doors are on a switch. One switch closes and opens the doors. It is a ring type ship. And here's the one we're going to take. It's not quite done. I still have some top bridge work to do. I'm still constructing. One glass is in the cooker. It's not done. And I haven't decided how I'm going to connect it to the back yet. It is all freight engines. As I'll show you here, everything is freight, so little more all uncommon freights. Whoops. It has good lift, which I will show you. Oops, we're going to have to start the build box. Stats are really good. Weighs 267 tons empty with full fuel. Decent stats, good low altitude, good high altitude, all kinds of brakes, and decent thrust. Space is 41,000 kilometers an hour, max speed empty. Once again, plenty of brakes, plenty of thrust, plenty of lift. And we got a little mismatch here in the torque. I don't know why. Pitch up, pitch down. Probably because I have adjusters on the rear end that push down harder than they can push up. And that is because of the surface I'm on. I mean, it doesn't really matter unless it starts porpoising. I'll have to watch it and see. The roll and the yaw are almost identical. And our inertia is good all the way around. So there you have it. Nothing is blocked on this ship. There is no blockage. But yeah, I'm sure the pitch up and down is because these two down here don't exactly point down, and I have two up on the top there that do shoot straight. So I'm thinking that's probably why the factor there on the pitch up and pitch down. On the nose, we have two medium, both sides for pitch up and pitch down, so it's got to be coming off the back end. And I really don't want to move them to a different place. I could put them underneath here. I do not want them on the rings. I don't put anything on the rings on the bottom because they're landing struts, actually, as you can tell. So I really don't want them. I don't want it landed on the damn thrusters, although I don't think it would actually matter. Who knows? But I think it's a pretty clean little build. Once again, everything's on a switch here, just like the Discovery. Close it up, turns off the ramps and closes the doors. This is just a couple navigators chairs, just for passengers. Very nice view, which we'll show you. That does look good looking out of it. As you can see, and we'll go back in here. I haven't really decided where I'm going to do with the core yet. This ship also has two large containers in it. This is a replacement for my thresher build. It has the tanks back here out of the way. They're balanced both sides. And then we'll go up to the bridge. Once again, I've got a gap here and I haven't decided what I'm going to do. I may put a medium window in part of it and then close it down. I just haven't decided, and I'm missing a glass here because it's still in the cooker. These tilted glass, these large windshield canopies take 3.5 hours, I think it is, to complete in a run. So you see I've been running it for a long time for all this glass. But, you know, still not finished. The last one is in the cooker. I've got typical chairs here. These are just office chairs, just for people to sit in, look around, be able to see when it's flying. Hovercraft seat for the pilot. I'm going to put a rail around here. I already have it figured out how I'm going to do it. I just haven't done it yet. So there's the ship view. We're looking around. That's what I call this one the Pulsar. And we'll go ahead and get in it. Okay. We'll go through the views. There is the pilot view. Do have a strut in the middle. Couldn't do anything about it. You just have to live with it. Now let's set the view here so I can, when I land, I can see what I'm doing. We'll lock it in, and it's locked in. Alright, we'll go back to here, and now I have set up arch head on it. I think I got all the parameters set. Let us hope. We're going to go out to Sanctuary, which makes a good little run. I got to calibrate miners out there anyway. So that's what we're going to do here. Now, let's hopefully we'll hit G and it should take straight up. And it does. Looks like the balance is really good, and I do try hard to balance the ship. There is a compromise because I have to balance it when it's loaded, so when you're empty you always seem to be changes, but looks like I'm okay here. So we'll throttle up here. We'll release the brake. Get about 1500 altitude, and then we'll hit our autopilot. And it's going to burn a little bit at max atmosphere speed. It's not going to burn enough that it is going to burn anything off of it, so there's always good. Okay, let's go to autopilot and keep an eye on it to make sure it don't do something stupid, because it has been known to do that. And looks like we're holding good speed even with the freight engines, and it'll burn a little less fuel with the freights than it will with standard engines. Okay, we've engaged our space drives. These freights take a little longer to warm up, so you have to be careful. And they're at full burn now. I don't know that we have enough thrust to get the max speed before we reach sanctuary, but the idea was to make it more economical. You can always switch out to normal engines or even uncommon militaries or advanced militaries. But 41,000 kilometers an hour, empty, with just fuel. It's not too bad for a medium. Didn't add a lot of extra junk on it, but my talents were getting so high I didn't really have to put too much brakes on it or of any style. And I probably could have got away with, I've got 3 large vertical boosters, probably could have got away with mediums, even fully loaded, but I decided what the hell, they're not going to burn that much more fuel, or that weight's only going to be what, worth 1,000 in speed total. Shame about the strut, but that's the trouble when you use glass and you're wider. This is a wide ship. Or wide bridge, I should say. And of course this is DU, so it doesn't make any difference if you're open to atmosphere. You just close them up for looks. Oh, we did reach max speed pretty quickly too. That's surprising to me. I didn't really think it would do that. Really, really good acceleration, actually. And there you have it. And I'll lock that back in. And technically, if I'm going to follow flight rules, the front 2 strobes are green. And they're not strobe, they're just on. I probably ought to just make them white strobe. On this build, they're really bright for some reason, or at least the red and green is. And I set them up the same way I always set them up, so I don't know. Braking's good, as you can tell. Less than 3 SU to brake. So we have lots of brakes. And I really don't. I think there's only 4 retro rockets on it, but once again, talents. And it's a little heavy braking empty, but when it's full, it's not so heavy. Or the ship's heavy, but the braking's not so good. Man, it changes thrust and everything, even max speed. It'll probably drop down to about, 34, 35 kilometers an hour when it's fully loaded. I'll test it after I do this and finish it up. I'll test it fully loaded. Make sure it's not too heavy. To get in the out of the atmosphere and landing. If it's overweight, they'd struggle. Too much for what you put in it. But I did want to keep the weight down some. So we'll see our next test run. Yeah, it's got all kinds of brakes right now empty. But 2 full cargo containers is what, 500 kilotons or something like that. So it gets pretty heavy there. And we'll have to check to make sure the freight engines are up to the job. I compromised some thrusts for a little bit more fuel efficiency. With 2 medium space tanks, it should make 4 runs to max speed and have plenty of fuel. Keeps you from having to fill up so often. And I really didn't want to put those 2 on the roof, but I really had no other place to put them. So we did. As you can see, the 2 down on the side. Those are the only 4 that are on it. Yeah, probably ought to change out the two lights in front, white strobe, just to make everybody think, hey, it's an airplane. Boy, it is coming in easy. They say when you're using the freights, it takes longer to warm up and get the thrust, so you have to make the build carefully. This takes them a lot longer to start. Wow. That's a heavy roll there. Damn near upside down. But it seems okay. I'll have to keep an eye on that when it's full. I don't really want to be forced to put adjusters down on the bottom of the ring. I will if I have to, of course. I just don't really want it landed on the adjusters if I don't have to. And we're going to put a little weight in, about 130,000 kilos, after we empty the miners out here. So maybe, 25% load on the way back. A little bit of weight, but not a whole lot. coming up on our waypoint, and it'll brake land it. And how about that? Everything looking good. Landed perfectly. We'll get out of it and go ahead and do our thing. Now, Admiral S3 showed me how to hook these up to my seat Lua wise, and I'm not very good at it, so it should open and close them as you take off and land, except that I'm just not very good with Lua. So I'm going to have to get him to come out and show me again. Yeah, as it takes off, it raises the ramps and closes the doors, and when it lands, it's supposed to automatically open them, but yeah, they don't quite work that way yet. Like I say, me and Lua don't really, whoops, did I hook up to those? I do not think I hooked up to these things, or these tanks. So we'll do it now. And I didn't, of course, because I forgot. Imagine that, me forgetting something. See how bright these lights in the front are? Jesus, I don't know why they're shining so well. I do not have the intensity turned up, but boy, do they brighten it up. So I think I'm going to change them to white. Turn on blinking and let them be strobes. All right, let's see. Yeah, we're going to have about 130K total between the two tiles. And see me mess up the calibrations, which I can do on occasion. And I just do it very simply. Sometimes I miss. It's not a big deal to me. I've got one. A dozen containers full of ore, so I don't get excited about the calibration. I always try, of course, to get 100%. Occasionally I mess up. Okay, there's one. 8 total out here on Sanctuary. I could have got another day. I've seen they were at 78%. It'll usually let them get down to 60 where I come out here, but I had a build to check out anyway, and it looks like the build is good. Until I go back the other direction, and it looks like it's right here. And it is. Okay, let's see. We gotta go around the unit here. Should have set these up so I didn't have to move around. But yeah, well, you know, they've been here since damn near release, so. I just don't really think it's that important to change it. Oh, that one was easy. I love how many windows you have to open and close to calibrate a couple miners. It's just really, talk about a design time sink, huh? And it's not really that it takes all that much time, but they didn't need to make it so annoying. To close out the first window, you would think that would be good. Uh-oh. Your guess is as good as mine at this point. And that wasn't it. Alright. We are obviously going to miss this one unless I get awfully lucky. And we got awfully lucky. See, right now it should be closed. I shouldn't have to keep hitting buttons. But, you know, is what it is. Whoops. That one's at 100% still. Didn't know that I did that one. Is that all of them? Well, it's all of them. Okay, well. That just kind of shocks me. I thought I only did 3. Well, the counter says 4, so I guess we'll believe the counter. Okay, let's pick this shit up. The counter says I did 4, so I must have. And I do not have super mining talents. I think I got level 3. So there are more to get in the future if I ever obviously start increasing mining talents again. Or I should say auto mining talents. Other things I want first. And it takes a while to build talents. We got a lot of bonuses before, and we're still getting a little bit of bonus, but it ain't much. So it takes a long time. Some of these talents now take almost 10 days per talent at level 5. So. It do take a while. See, all the cheap stuff I want I already have, so things have slowed down considerably talent-wise. I think I'm sitting at about 40 million talent points total overall. I do not have alts. A lot of people play alts, but I just can't see where it's not that important to me to have a super industry guy and a super pilot and not worth the extra $15 a month to have it all. To me. For some people it is. So yeah, I only have one tune in this game. No desire to have more. So my guy is a jack of all trades, and he's not a master in none. But he's well balanced, and I can build, I can mine, and I can fly. Boy, I'll tell you what, server is really a little bit slow here. Got to do this. Such is life. I will live. I don't stream very often. I don't do it. I don't do it for an income, or I don't even do it for a few dollars. I just do it for fun. Do not have any designated time I stream. I just do it whenever I feel like it or when I got something maybe to show somebody. And most of my streams get viewed after the fact, which is okay by me. Okay, we're going to go out here to our other tile. I do have beta backers, so yeah, I have 2 sanctuary tiles. Alright, let's open this up. We'll see. And they're going to be about the same. Both these tiles. When I picked these tiles, I picked it because it was on the lakefront. I didn't have a territory scanning unit at that time to check what the stuff was, so pretty much just took it as it came, which most people did early. Took a whole lot to be able to make a territory scanner, and a lot of time involved too. It ain't quick. And now I can't change tiles out here at Sanctuary, so why bother with that stuff? And like I say, I can pull more out here if I max the talents. And I will eventually, 6 months or so, however long it takes to get there. But in the meantime, I'll give up a little bit for things that I prefer now. This one's going to be not easy, I don't think. Unless I get lucky on this. And did get lucky. And this mini game is exactly what it is. It's just pretty much, you can increase your odds, but it's still luck. And some people have some really slick ways to do this. I just don't care enough to try to figure out a better way. Works good enough for me. And it's simple. I like simple. And I would say at least 90% of the time I find it the high spot. Now, I don't always, but that's life. Yeah, it's always nice to come out here with a new build. Whoops. And at least put a little bit in it. See how much it changes an empty build. Like I say, this is not a whole lot of load for this. Okay, let's pick them up. So it makes a good test bed for me. Come on, server. Server obviously is not in great shape. And the better talents even pick rocks up faster. And picking up the rocks is fun. Some people just pick up rocks on alley-off, beta stuff. Their talents are higher because they're trying to pick them up as fast as possible. And it really, this is tier 1 stuff, so it's fairly quick anyway. But it really makes a difference on tier 2s and higher. Come on. You would think after what, 3 years they'd have figured out this server shit. I don't know how they run their universe. But this is, I guess there's times it's been a worse issue. Pending operations, but still it's still pretty prevalent, yeah, whatever, in VU. Nothing you can do about it. On client end, anyway. Some days are better than others. Maybe a simple matter of server load. They're not opening up new servers. And the population gets high enough, although I wouldn't think the population's very high at any time. I mean, they did have quite a bit on release, but yeah, people have not stuck with it. This is a time-intensive game. You can't do anything quickly. Like I say, just some glass canopies are 3.5 hours each to make one of them, not to mention all the prep time to make everything you need to make them. You make assembly lines, so hopefully it all does it at once, but that looks like that's all of it. 36%, I said 30, so I'm a little low, but we got 36% load, 265 tons extra mass. So we'll see how that changes things. And we'll head back to Haven. And yes, I am still on Haven. No, I have no intents to move my main base, although I almost made a base out on Matus back when they had bots. And I had a couple flowers out there, and I took the flowers down because it was no longer profitable enough to be worth my time to run out there and back. So I considered making a base out there, but really you still have the flight time here and there. And you're looking at what, an hour trip or whatever it is to fly out there and fly back. Yeah. Okay, looks like we're all good. Don't fall out. Okay, let's change our view here. We'll go back to Haven. Haven 0 be the waypoint. Haven 2. Sorry about that. Alright. We're at 429 total mass now. So we're going to be more sluggish. Still got 3 gigs of thrust on these atmospheric engines. And you'll see we're a little heavy in the back. Or in the front now. Because I have the thing way forward. But we should have no trouble. We better not have any trouble at 36% load. Kind of interesting to see our top speed still increasing, but we did lose about 100. Pretty much needed to maintain 800 to get it into out of atmosphere. We're 36. We're still over 1,000, so we're good. You can decrease the pitch to make it go faster with our chud. Higher the pitch, of course, lower your speed's going to be. It's kind of a trade-off on a heavier ship. And freight engines are trickier just because of the warm-up times. And you sacrifice thrust for fuel mileage. And see, now we're down to 35,000 kilometers an hour at top speed. So there you have it. Just 36% low. Really slowed her down. Now in the Thresher, which basically weighs fairly close, I have all advanced military in it. It doesn't go any faster, but it accelerates faster, and it'll hold speed better, especially in atmosphere. But it will suck some fuel. But this is the replacement build for it. As I get better with voxels, I have changed my build designs. So I'm kind of updating some of my older builds. Yeah, looks like we got a good build. Like I say, I'll check it full, make sure it can get out of the atmosphere and land okay with full load. If not, we will update the engines. But since I shut down the flowers on Matus, I had a couple of them out there, I haven't really had any call to fill up 2 large containers, so I may not. I will sell the blueprints to my ships, but I really don't advertise it, don't really care. Some people try, constantly trying to sell you their builds. I mean, if you want one, talk to me. But it's not why I build them. I build them for myself first. And if somebody happens to want to build, and I have sold a few completed builds somebody just had to have. But it's just not my priority in the game to make ships and sell them to everybody. Still reached top speed. Decent amount of time, although the top speed is down 6,000 kilometers an hour. The better builds, the more balanced builds all the way around when you land with Arch HUD, if you land within a few meters of your waypoint, tells you you got a good build. And sometimes it don't get anywhere close. I mean, it'll get within, a kilometer or two. But yeah, you can tell how good your builds are by how close the autopilot will return you to your waypoint or to your save point. Like we saved, updated. I updated the marker where the ship took off, so we'll see how close it gets. And I might have to take over because it might try to land on something else. I could say the closer it gets, the better the build. I have learned that about Arch HUD. If you're pushing a build to its limits, Arch HUD will not get you as close. So enough brakes, lift, balance of the ship, all that has a big bearing on how well Arch HUD works and its weight. If you get it overweight for what it considers a good build, it definitely affects Arch HUD. And it will crash you into the planet if it's too heavy, because it can't control it. Even though if you manually fly it, you'll be able to land it and take off okay, Arch HUD has to have a good build. Doesn't like marginal builds. I have learned that the hard way. I have learned that by taking time to fix ships. That Arch had thought, yeah, this is too heavy, this doesn't have enough this, it doesn't have enough that. But like anything else, you learn as you build what works and what doesn't. Or what works better anyway, I should say. Anything will work. You can strap an engine on a cargo container and fly it into space. But we're a third full, so it's a good preliminary test by me going out to Sanctuary and collecting things. And freight engines are trickier because you don't have the instant on and off. Warm-up time is extended by a lot. So a marginal build with these engines will get you in trouble. And if it acts funky when it gets down to the ground, I will automatically brake land it. To save me from doing a repair job. Well, the descent looks good so far. Let's see if it catches it at 4,000. And then we'll have to see how it acts on its turn, because it's going to have to turn, go back the other direction to pick up the waypoint. See how long it took for the Eychimo motors to kick in? If you're a little shy on lift, you'll get in trouble. Okay, looks like we caught it okay. See how the, yeah, I don't like that at all. That looked like it was worse, so I am going to have to make some changes there. I'm going to have to decrease the roll. I don't have to catch it yet, so that's good, but yeah, we're going to need a little more thrusters, I do believe. It's not reacting fast enough. Yeah, I don't like it. It's damn near turning upside down. But I was ready to take over. I figured I'd ride it out because we were at 4,000 feet, 4,000 kilometers. But if it had started dropping, I'd have been changing. I'd been taking over in a hurry. Yeah, we gotta work on the roll. See, we just learned something about a test flight. It was a little heavy on Sanctuary, which I noticed. And it was even heavier after 36% load. So yeah, it needs more roll control. So I might have to go and I could add more thrusters underneath with roll, but I'm probably going to be forced to put them on the bottom of the ring to balance it completely. Such is life. Won't actually hurt anything. I just wanted to keep it clean. Okay, we're coming up. Let's see if we're going to hit anything. We'll be coming up on our base here. You can see it from this far away. And we'll see if they can put it back on the pad. And it may be fine on everything. Let's see. How close we get to that marker is how good the build is. And there ain't a whole lot of room down there to land right now because I got too many ships on the pad. I need to add another pad. Hi, Maverick. Okay, you can slow down anytime now. You better brake. It looks like it's going to get pretty close here. So that aspect of it looks good. Yeah, we're within what? 16 meters? That's a good build, except for the roll, which doesn't affect the landing. Okay, there we have it. You guys seen that the Pulsar build does work. Like I said, we'll put a railing around this just for shits and grins and looks. I'm going to have to find a container somewhere to put this shit in because all ones I got are full. But there you have it. Just got to finish up the windows. And like I said, I think I'll change these lights out for white strobe. I think it will. But other than that, we look like we're good to go. Alrighty, that's good enough.